The Himalayas are a global biodiversity hotspot containing much of the snow leopard's geographic range. The global surface temperature of the planet has increased on average by 1.2 degrees. However, climate change is disproportionately impacting the alpine and subalpine regions that snow leopards occur in, and in turn this is having an adverse effect on snow leopard populations, causing them to decline, with the IUCN Red List listing them as endangered. Therefore, understanding threats that climate change exacerbates, such as an advancing tree line, land use change, and niche overlap, will help to understand the dynamics of the current range shift and contraction of the snow leopard, therefore informing future conservation methods. The tree line is an ecotone present on the Himalayas, which is characterised by shorter, sparsely populated trees, and is found at higher altitudes and latitudes, between forested habitats and alpine and subalpine regions, where trees can no longer regenerate. Climate change is helping trees to overcome the thermal barriers of regeneration, resulting in the tree line advancing and thus snow leopard habitats retracting and shifting northwards. Alpine regions are found between the tree line and the snow line, and while the snow line has historically been declining, this decline may have halted, constraining this area of suitable snow leopard habitat. Due to this, 30% of snow leopard habitat is at threat of converting from alpine habitat to forest, increasing the number of habitat blocks. However, effective research of snow cover area is insufficient due to the difficulty of gathering data in extreme high altitudes. Climate change can intensify habitat fragmentation and degradation. Increased ambient temperature and droughts alter annual glacial and snowmelts while degrading natural springs. This can negatively impact habitat quality, forcing dispersal in some animals and reduction in fitness in others. Habitat connectivity is important as fragmentation inhibits gene flow by isolating populations, which can then induce inbreeding depression while exacerbating genetic drift, adversely influencing the fitness of snow leopard populations. The Himalayas in Pakistan act as a corridor between populations of snow leopards in Asia, and thus habitat reduction as a consequence of climate change is hindering dispersal between the regions. On top of this, snow leopards have been experiencing a range contraction in the south of its range, and range advances in the north, and so connectivity of these regions will be key to allow the possible northward shift of snow leopards, as up to 23% of its southern range will be destroyed by 2070. With shifting ranges, the snow leopard is likely to spatially overlap with other carnivores such as the common leopard, which have been recorded to negatively affect space use in snow leopards, further constricting the area of viable habitat. Niche overlap between the two species is likely to be disadvantageous for the snow leopard, as it will be competing for similar resources in a less suitable habitat. Other carnivore species such as the Asiatic brown bear, Amur tigers, the Eurasian lynx and dholes are speculated to exhibit increasing spatial overlap with snow leopards as they are forced to shift their range. However, despite this being a well-documented idea, there is little consideration to how these species will interact and impact the space usage of snow leopards, resembling a considerable gap in knowledge to be filled. Density of wild prey is the primary indicator for habitat suitability for snow leopards. Therefore, as blue sheep are their primary prey, they are an important factor for habitat suitability. Climatic factors such as mean surface temperature, isothermality, and mean precipitation, which are influenced by climate change, is predicted to induce spatial mismatch between snow leopards and blue sheep, reducing habitat suitability by 22% by 2050. This has resulted in an increased livestock depredation, as snow leopards are being forced to hunt for other food, generating increased friction between local human populations and wildlife, where many locals believe retaliatory killings to be the only option to protect their livelihoods. Protected areas are a popular strategy for conserving threatened alpine and subalpine regions. However, 40% of these areas are too small to support the required home range of a single adult male. Furthermore, only 41% of these protected areas are considered to be highly suitable for snow leopards. In order to support conservation, increased land sharing and coexistence should also be considered, although this may face challenges such as the need for local perception to be in favour of snow leopard conservation, which can be incentivised through amenities and subsidies. Another challenge is that snow leopard density often decreases with human activity, so it will be difficult to find the correct balance of land sharing and land sparing. Climate change is having a myriad of negative influences on the geographic range of snow leopards, where an advancing tree line is reducing and degrading snow leopard habitat or forcing them to forage for reduced prey with increased competition with other carnivores. Therefore, a hybrid approach to conservation should be considered where land sparing and land sharing are utilised in order to increase and maintain suitable habitat ranges, as well as improving habitat connectivity. Finally, future research on the competition of snow leopards with other carnivores, such as the Asiatic brown bear, may be beneficial.